Hey everyone, today we'll talk about how we can help you reducing your cloud hosting or on-premise costs through monitoring and automated actions for your SAP BusinessObjects platform. My name is Patrick Perrier. I am the EMEA Analytics Director, part of COE at 360 Suite. And the solution I'll talk about is 360 Live to do BusinessObjects monitoring, sending alert notifications, and performing automated actions. To set the scene, a couple of scenarios which may seem relevant to you. And the first one here is for those of you where you have a disaster recovery scenario of perhaps having a primary server, which is always running, and a secondary server, which is perhaps stopped on a cold standby. The idea here is the first server will serve the users and the request to view and schedule reports. And if something goes wrong with the first node, either some services are no longer working or the first node goes down, then you will manually start this second server to continue serving the users. Now, of course, it's not a high availability. There'll be a small downtime here. But this is a scenario which works well for a lot of people. The second scenario for the bigger deployments is for those of you with a lot of users and a lot of requests. So if we take this example here, you could have 4 servers. They're clustered because you know that at peak time, you will need these 4 servers to serve the hundreds of users and all the requests that they demand on the BusinessObjects environment. The problem is when you're not at peak time, or when you are maybe at the end of the day, on a Friday, on the weekends, you know that these 4 servers would in reality not be needed. Maybe you'll be just fine with 2 nodes. But the point is, in terms of cost, you will need to pay for everything which is running, even if you're not at peak time. So with 360 Live, what we're proposing is how to monitor BusinessObjects, those services and those sessions, to then send you some notification, alerts or file systems, notifications when something goes wrong. But more importantly, and that's the difference here, how to take proactive actions to either restart, stop or disable BusinessObjects services when there's a problem, or even better, call external programs to then maybe start these extra nodes or stop these extra nodes when you don't need them. And that's the demo I'll do today. So today I have 3 different servers. They are all on Amazon Web Services. They are EC2 nodes. The first one will host 360 Live, and 360 Live will be monitoring my different BusinessObjects environments and all these servers in these different environments. That node has been given a role with the ability to stop and start other EC2 servers. On the left, we have the first EC2 node. That's my primary BusinessObjects server. That's the one that will be running by default. Let's call it my production server. And unless something goes wrong with this server, I don't need the other one. And unless this server gets too busy, I don't need the other server either. So that way, I only pay for one node. Now, let's say this server gets really busy. There's a lot of users. Well, I want 360 Live to find out. I want to receive an email to let me know, but I want automatically, because I may not be at my desk or something like this, I want automatically this second passive server to start, and I want to only pay when it's needed. And when it's no longer needed, when I have less users, I want this server to stop. And then I have only paid for the minutes or the hours that that server was running. All right, let's see how we do this. Okay, so I have here my 360 Live server running on its own server here. That's fine, and I will log on to my node 1 because, well, that's the only one which is running right now. And I'll say, all right then, let's set up some some watchers. I'll say, okay, first of all, start my second node if and only if there's enough demand. So let's say start node 2. Okay. I can monitor for a number of things. In this case, I'll be monitoring my CMS sessions, but like I said before, you could monitor other business objects metrics. So if perhaps a service fails or there's a problem with the hardware, I'm using too many CPUs or RAM, other things like this, I can decide to stop or start services based on these metrics. But in this case, I'll pick active sessions. And I'll say, right, okay, I want this enabled full time, but I could say enable it only Monday to Friday between 9 and 5, or the other way around. Enable it just at nights because I want my extra nodes only if there's enough scheduling instances that needs to be done. So I can be quite flexible on this. And I'll say, okay, too many sessions. Let's say that's the title. And I'll say, right, if I have more than 10 users logged on, I want an alert. Okay. First of all, let's send some notifications. I don't have to, but I can send email notification. I can send a file to a file system. I can do both. It's really up to you. And I can say from myself, and let's say to myself, I can type stuff, but I'll use some of the dynamic parameters. Say, right, the watcher name and the date and time. Okay, too many users. Here we go. And let's add a little graph to my email. Always helpful to see what's going on. Okay. I'll add an action and could add multiple actions. But in this case, I'll say, right, let's run a script here. And the script I'm going to run, there's many ways to do it, but in this case, it's a PowerShell script. I'll say, right, PowerShell, start my EC2 instance of this ID when the alert is triggered. And again, I can do this because I have given all the right permissions between these different Amazon servers. All right, here we go. I'm done. I'll just add this alert. It's right here, too many sessions when it's greater than 10 users. Perfect. And I'll close that. And we can see that this watcher is now enabled. If I look at the logs, it started and now it's just waiting. Sounds good. All right. Let's switch to my business objects environment, where as you can see, I have 3 sessions right now. Using JMeter, I'll simulate 15 users logging on right now. So let's start that. Let's go back to my business objects. And we see, here we go, 10, 12, 14, 17, and I have all my 18 users logged on to the BI Launchpad. Let's go back to 360. Okay, now remember 360 is monitoring by default every 30 seconds. So it will take a few seconds for 360 to pick up on this. Okay, here we go. See, there was my 3 users here, 5, and now I have more users than the threshold of my too many sessions here. So what I'm expecting to see in my logs. Here we go. It sent me an email and it has now started my second node. So let's see if it worked. Let's see to my emails. Here we go. So I got my email notification just now. Start node, date and time, too many users. The chart where I had these 3 users, which became 5 and now became 18 at the end. So sounds good. And now if I go to business objects and I go to my servers, we see that my node 2 is now starting. Yeah. So So that's my node number 1, which is working just fine. And this is my node number 2, which is almost done running here. Okay, that's great. Let's go back to my sessions. So now I'm paying for this second node because it's running. So what I want to do is the other way around and say, okay, let's create a new watcher. Stop node 2. We'll do the same thing. Monitor my sessions. And I'll say, right, stop, let's say, stop paying. And if I have lower or equal to than 5 users, once again, I can set up an email notification. But in this case, I'll add the action to stop this node. So instead of an EC2 start, it's an EC2 stop. Quite simple here. Add this alert. Okay, here we go. So I now have the stop. And if I look at my logs, it takes a few seconds to, here we go. So it's now ready to stop the second server only when needed. So just to show you that my second server is, so here we go, my node number 2 is fully running now. So what I need to do, I'll go to the sessions. I have 18. Let's delete everything that I don't need. And the sessions, here we go. I'm down to 4 sessions in total, which is less than the 5 I have set up. Once again, 360 Live will pick that up within 30 seconds. And after 30 seconds, it's going to stop the node on my AWS. So again, just wait a few more seconds. Perfect, here we go. So processing alert, execute the program. And now if I go to business objects and I monitor my node, I'm expecting this node here to, well, clearly it's not responsive because it's being stopped. So that's my node number 1. Let's do that again. My node number 1, which is still up. In my node number 2, well, like I said, which is not responding because it's been stopped. Here we go. Everything's stopped here. Okay. Thank you for your time. This is how you can use 360 Live to monitor services, either on their health or based on other metrics such as number of user sessions or number of requests in terms of utilization, and then trigger proactive actions to either resolve the problems or start other nodes in BusinessObjects to control your cost. Thank you for watching, and do get in touch if you have any questions or you'd like any help to achieve the same. Thank you.